Hey guys, and welcome to another video. And quickly before we start, we're in a different house. This is my grandpa's house. However, we're not going to be featuring him today. We're going to be featuring Rosie again. So welcome to another video. And this is another What's Your Favourite Snow Globe video. Let's do it.
Yes.
The two snow globes are the two New York ones. We're back, and I've shown Rosie the New York snow globes, by the way, sometime later, about an hour and a half later this is. And now, Rosie is going to tell you which one was her favourite and why.
What were the snow globes? Just tell them.
The two New York ones.
So, the plastic New York snow globe with the Statue of Liberty, I just don't think it's my favourite because it just doesn't look proper. Doesn't look like a proper snow
Rosie,
globe.
bear in mind it's from the 80s.
True. I think we've got to go. Bye.
Sorry about that interruption from Mum. We're going to continue. She just interrupted. She was like, put your shoes on, guys. But, you know, I said 5 minutes. I pled. So, obviously, this will be iMovie together. And let's get back to the video. Rosie, explain what you were explaining. I left off on the fact that one of the New York snow globes was from the 80s.
Yeah.
And the other one's from 2019.
No, the one from the 80s, I mean, it's a bit nice, but it just...
A bit nice. Like, is it nice as in... It's probably a decent snow globe
Yeah, it's
in its
decent.
time. In its time, it was a very decent snow globe. But now, and as we are about... 35 years later, times have changed, Rosie, and snow globes have developed as well. So bear that in mind with your decision.
But the other one, that's got the car and then
The taxi, yeah.
taxi.
Mhm.
That one, I mean, that's just amazing, that one.
True, it's very architecturally good. It's very well
Because the
designed.
base is like, a car is the base.
It's also got the taxi bit at the top, which says New York. Very cool design, very well thought. But again, this is 35 years later, Rosie.
I know, but
So
that was
every single
last...
point you say to say that you like the New York one better, you haven't bared in mind that the New York one is from 35 years. This is why this one is very hard.
Yeah.
I'll just quickly tell you my personal opinion. My personal opinion is I do prefer the New York taxi, but it's a hard decision because the Statue of Liberty one was a very decent snow globe for its time, and it's 2020 now, not 1985 or whatever. And it's a bit unfair to say that the taxi one is better because because snow globes have developed over time, as has everything else. So I prefer the taxi one, but for its time, the Statue of Liberty one is a very decent snow globe. Rosie, back to you.
I mean, it's quite a hard decision because, like, both of them are quite nice for their time, you know, both of them. I mean, the taxi one was from last year, so it's quite decent
Not
now.
even last year, it's from around October-ish.
Yeah. So, I can't really choose. But I don't
You can
really
choose
want to
your
make
opinion.
it unfair.
You're not making it unfair, it's personal opinion, but when you make your decision, you've got to bear in mind that the New York one's from around 35 years earlier. And things change and develop.
No.
So your decision was the taxi, but in this video I'm trying to persuade Rosie that the argument here is unfair.
I know it's unfair. I just don't want to make it unfair. But the taxi one, it's got a much cooler design. I mean, the
Rosie,
Statue of Liberty one, the base is black.
The first thing I have to say to you here, glass snow globes are quite recent. They were probably made around the 90s, maybe early 2000s. Not even the early 2000s. Probably glass snow globes were around 2005 first made. And then the actual statue developed was probably made like maybe 10 years ago, like a decade ago, not very long. So keep that in mind. Both the glass design and the statue, like the cool statue base, like the Red Ruby Oracle Nemesis Now Dragon, it's got the dragon. This one's got the cool base. Just bear in mind that those are recent snow globes, and that glass snow globes are quite recent. Not like very recent, but recently made. And that snow globes with statue bases or just statues on it, again, quite recently made. Rosie, please take us away again with your final opinion. So I'm going to give you 3 options. You can either say the 80s New York one, the 2019 New York one, or you can say this argument is unfair and that you cannot decide.
I cannot decide because it's just so unfair. I mean, one of them's really old from last
Century.
century, and the other one's from about October. So this is just too unfair. Can't say which one is the best.
So, on that note, we have no answer from Rosie. So Rosie, you actually, in proper, prefer the New York one, but the argument is unfair. That's the same as me. I prefer the taxi, as does Rosie, but the argument is unfair.
So I can't really decide which one I like more, but I do prefer the taxi one.
So on that unfair sort of note, I'm going to close this video in a statement that says some of these arguments have to end in a way without a decision. Like, subscribe and share. And I'll see you all guys in the next video. Bye.
Bye. On the screen.
See you on the screen.
See you on the screen.
And just to let you guys know, this video is the official end of season 1 of What's Your Favourite Snow Globe.